Hello, hello. This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, bringing you another edition of Dragons in Modern. Not a lot of action, but we do have some ramp. And no, we don't. Dimir. It's the frog. It's like the bane of our existence, basically, because we don't have a clean answer for a frog. They just need to grow it out of range of Bolt and Glory. Ooh, Malevolent Rumble, perfect. Surprised they took the Domri. They must have a second thought seize, and then decide that the ramp is not as scary as a Domri that can turn off counter magic. So we will be playing Domri if we get a chance. And they pitched a subtlety. Or put a subtlety in the graveyard makes me wonder. Makes me think this Domri has little chance of resolving. Another forest. Well, we're going for it. It resolves. Alright, so I still think we're playing Mere Frog. But we'll see. Hopefully we can find a dragon off the top right now. That'd be pretty sweet. Land, dragon, swing in for a 4. Any sort of threat. We play 14 threats. Yeah, so Dragons Modern, baby. We're about to get a bunch of dragons from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Not sure how many are going to be modern playable, but I'm going to find out. We're trying Malevolent Rumble in our dragon deck this month, and it's been really impressive. Digging for what we need and ramping us. Great. We don't play many non-land permanents. This might be the only one, actually, in this now. Took the place of a variety of different 2-drops and our Ragavan at one point. But yeah, I mean, it just cures what ails us when we have it. On turn 2, we find the ramp we need. If that's a Planeswalker, for instance, or a dragon, or the land, right? While also ramping us. Turn 5, 6, 7, like what we're about to do, turn 4 even. Hopefully find a dragon. We don't just draw one. Okay, bonus to 12. Makes me wonder, we had, is this Death Shadow? Dragon up the top. Kiora. So I think we will play Haven of the Spirit Dragon. Malevolent Rumble. See if that gets out a counterspell. The worst of this counterspells, even they can now still counter our Kiora. And we're going to be very sad. Although we still have mana for dragons, we just need our threats, we just need to draw it. Murktide, is this Dimir Murktide? Here comes a counterspell, yep. So our hand lined up perfectly with what their answers. And then if they follow this up with a Murktide, we will be sad. Yeah, Malevolent Rumble can't find you a threat if you can't resolve it. Oh, they have Subtlety or mana up. Malevolent Rumble number 2. It's not bad. We can cast a dragon if this resolves and we find one. Or a questing beast, also acceptable. I'm expecting a subtlety here though, or just a straight up kill spell. Our opponent doesn't have an answer. That's also acceptable. I mean, they have Fatal Push. I don't know what our opponent's up to. Unless they really are Death Shadow and they just want to take some hits and then they're about to Fatal Push our questing beast. Yep, that might be their plan. Which, if that is their plan, and they go low enough. Masters. Sure. I see. Still don't know why they took a hit though. So we're one lightning bolt away from winning. We're one threat away from winning. Opponent's down to 2 cards. And what is their final card? It's a frog. Frog is less scary now that we can bolt it, but we might not even want to bolt it. We might just want to go after Domri. Sure. All right, deck. I mean, this is the game. If we draw a threat, we win. If we don't draw a threat, we don't win. Well, we might still win. We have a lot of life, but threat. It's a questing beast. It's a questing beast. Beautiful. Yeah, we see we have to do this for the uncounterability. We don't want to tap our lightning bolt mana. And we'll just go for the bolt now. All right, got there. Pretty sweet, taking down Dimir Frog. Now, they had answers. They did not line up with what we wanted. What are we gonna bring against Frog though? It's so painful because we really just don't have. Sometimes I'll play answers in the sideboard for the Frog. I'm sure there's some graveyard shenanigans. Like it's gotta have Murktides in it, right? Maybe we'll leave out Blood Moon for now. Arbor Elf. So I said I think it's Arbor Elf's time to shine again in my article that I'm going to put out tomorrow because of the lack of Orcish Bowmasters. But you know what deck plays Orcish Bowmasters? Dimir Frog, Murktide, whatever it is. Do we resolve anything here? Do we have a hand that's worse? We'll try it. I mean, we have some redundancy against Thoughtseize. We have something to ramp into. We just need something to. We need to find a 1-mana spell off the top or with Commercial District. Top get us there. It's a Utopia Sprawl. Perfect. That makes this hand so much better. Sometimes you just get lucky off the top. So now we're at turn 3 Storm Breath. Assuming that we can resolve a Domri. And I think we probably want to start with Kiora. Or we could just Malevolent Rumble and get a Commercial District. I think we're going to Kiora, try to bait out a counter spell. Of the 2 Planeswalkers, Domri's more impactful against a control deck. So we want the Domri to resolve, and we have a second Kiora, so it's okay if they counter this one. And next turn we can Cure and Malevolent. We could have Malevolent Rumble this turn. What am I talking about? If that had resolved. So that was also some big upside for us. Our opponent taps down. The thing with tapping down, though, for if they cast a Frog, is they could probably just pitch their hand and kill her, whatever Planeswalker we play. We would like one of these Planeswalkers to resolve. This may be a Bowmasters coming our way. What are the chances they have 2 counter spells in their opening 7? Versus a Bowmasters. Oh, well, that makes it easy. We're going for the Domri. See if they have a counter spell. Number 2. We definitely want, like I said, one of these Planeswalkers to resolve while making land drops towards Storm Breath, so that when we run them out of counter spells, I think next turn we could just draw a land naturally and start running out dragons. So we'll put that on top because that gives us what we want to cast a Storm Breath. And then we just hope that, yeah, they don't have any more counter spells. That's 2 counter spells out of the way. The frog. So I think we'll probably spell Pierce. They can play to get rid of Domri. So we'll play the mountain. We play Cure, 1, 2, that's 3. And we only get 4. So we can play the Domri and the Kiora, making everything uncounterable, but then the Domri's probably going to die. We can play the Kiora and the Malevolent Rumble to try to find something else, but then they have that Spell Snare mana open. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think we're at the point of the game where we're just going to start hard casting our dragons. And if they want to pitch their entire hand and give this thing flying to block, that'll make us sad, but Dismember, wow. Okay, all the answers, 2 counter spells and a Dismember. That's cool. That's cool. That's what you expect from a control deck, though. All right, well, now the frog's going to start doing the frog things, which is refilling hands. I guess we could play Dismember in our sideboard for the frog, but man, that hurts. I think there are better ways, but I'm not sure what. Planeswalker or creature even, yeah. All right, so they don't pitch their hand, which makes me think they have counter magic. So we've kind of played right into our opponent's answers, unfortunately. Murktide, I think this one might be out of reach, folks. This one might be out of reach. We drew well, and now they have counter magic up, but I don't think we're gonna get there. We drew well, but our threats, the way we played out our hand, lined up almost perfectly with what our opponent is trying to do, was what with our opponent's answers. To counterspell into kill spell instead of we could have played Planeswalker there. Just don't think we can win. Like it's a 2-turn clock. Take the Glorybringer. We'll stick it out a couple more turns. I mean, there is a world in which we can just chump block long enough to live. But our opponent's going to be hitting us, especially if they're going to pitch a card and then give it flying, hit us down to 8, and then try to run it back. And if they don't, we're really just living off the top of our deck. Anyway, yeah, so with the way we ended up playing out our hand, we could have run out some Planeswalkers there and not played into the Dismember. They would have had it for the next threat, obviously, but we might have at least we would have drawn a card off of it. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that both our opponent has a handful of answers and we have a way to. They top deck a Fatal Push, and they have a way to then follow it up with a Murktide. And I'm pretty sure that means we are going to die. Yep, Murktide and Psychic Frog, pretty good combination, folks, in case you have not seen it. You exile to the frog to give it flying. And then the Murktide grows. All right, I mean, Bolt seems like it. Man, do we want to do we dare get rid of a Bolt? I just don't wear the. All right, one Arbor Elf, one Cure, one Domri, one Malevolent Rumble. I mean, I'm bringing in Blood Moon. It's basically just hoping to stick a turn 2 Blood Moon and hose our opponent's mana base enough to win us the game. We didn't see any of our sideboard cards that turn. All right, well, I mean, we have the ramp. We're going for it. Hopefully they don't have a handful of fatal pushes. We are again playing a very fair strategy against our opponent's deck, which I would have to say, like I mentioned already, the way our deck works, we are not. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, that is perfect for us right now. We are not favored in this matchup in any way whatsoever. How do we want to do this? So we're gonna play Utopia Sprawl, naming red. Gonna untap. Okay, we're really hoping for a dragon off the top. Bowmasters can't kill both of our forests, both of our elves. A dragon would be our best play. But we're left just living off the top of our library, unfortunately. And then if we just swing in dragon, it's a questing beast. That's pretty good. So we can go activate. It's going to be a Bowmasters, sure. We will respond. So I guess I can't cast that yet. It's going to be a green. No, we did that all wrong though. We should have done the cure first. Dang it. That is a mistake. That is a big mistake. Because we are left not being able to draw a card now. And that's huge. So this is where I went wrong. And this is, I mean, this is the short end. Basically, I was playing around a subtlety, but I don't think uncounterability stops a subtlety, because a subtlety puts it on top or the bottom, if I remember correctly. All right, so it looks like they're going for some attacks, and they want to trigger a fatal push probably, so we will not worry about that. But what I should have done is cure first into after they tap down for the Bowmasters. Cure first into a frog. Sure. Cure first into Questing Beast so that I could draw a card. Because right now we're left drawing off the top of our deck. If we hit something great, if we hit a land, we definitely wanted to have drawn, so we have a better chance to. You always want more cards, right? That is a great draw for us. Too bad they killed our Arbor Elf, right? So we can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana this turn. Do we want to fight though? If we fight, I think what we're gonna want to do here is red. Oh, target forest. I was just trying to save some mana, or not waste mana, but it don't matter. Do they have a dismember? That would make me sad. Raptor would be good. Blood Moon. And then Killer Arbor Elf. Does that resolve? Man, if this resolves, our opponent's going to be in some trouble. Hello, black mana. I mean, that looks like dismember mana to me. That looks like dismember mana to me. Go to combat, so force their hand. Man, we have, I mean, if we can't beat Dimir Frog from here, if that frog ends up winning, we're going to swing in with everybody, and then we're going to fight the frog if we have to, because hopefully they don't have a dismember. They lost their mana. They don't have a dismember. Yep. They're going to pitch their hand. They had the fatal push like I thought. It's now 5/6. So there was I probably should not have attacked with the Storm Breath, to be honest. I think I probably should have held back the Storm Breath. They do have counterspell. Yeah, the Storm Breath. The Storm Breath is such a valuable commodity that I'm not sure we should have attacked with it. But I'm not. Then again, they're not even blocking. Are they trying to bait us into something? Wow, I really thought they were going to block the Storm Breath trade. Maybe they forgot to give it flying before they got to that. I thought they were going to block the Storm Breath and then make me use my questing beast, and then I'd be living off the top of my deck to try to win this game, and they scoop it up. Yep. All right, and a rampaging raptor off the top. So taking down Dimir Frog. I mean, we had we had a fast start. And wow, yeah. I mean, that's one of the better decks in the format. There at the end, the way we could have played around things differently in game 1. We missed a card draw in played around things differently in game 2, missed a card draw in game 3. I'm not sure if let me see what subtlety says. Subtlety. Yeah, so we wouldn't have been able to, it's like I thought. So I was playing around subtlety thinking it countered. I know it doesn't counter, but anyway, that was the punt, or the mistake. It didn't come back to haunt us. Timely draws off the top. So when Gruul Dragons can find threats and hate pieces off the top, we have the mana to take advantage of it. So we went questing beast into Storm Breath. Well, yeah, questing beast into Storm Breath into Blood Moon, and yeah, I mean that's some hot running for sure. But you can see the ability for us to compete with even a deck like Dimir Frog Murktide. All right, well, for cyclesgaming.com, I'm Johnny Cycles. I'll catch y'all in the next one.